Andor was once labelled the show no one asked for, yet the writing, acting, set pieces, action, drama, lore, musical score and much more turned Andor into the series all other Star Wars shows must try to eclipse. Hey everyone and welcome back to the channel. I hope you're doing well and just as excited as I am for Andor Season 2. With anticipation for the second and final instalment of Andor growing, now is the perfect time to begin discussing some pretty huge theories and wild predictions, including Director Krennic leading an undercover investigation to locate Axis, Luthen's sacrifice and painful demise, Bail Organa coming to the aid of a certain senator, the destiny of one Kino Loy on Narkina 5, detention level duty for the unexpected career-obsessed duo, and some huge appearances for some major characters. With plenty to discuss, be sure to share your predictions in the comments. So jumping straight in and starting with Luthen Rael. In a somewhat self-contained Season 1, Luthen quickly grew beyond the story, becoming the central mystery and at times the central character. In Season 1, Luthen would be elevated from the shadows of the story when required, and seemingly comprised of both mystery and rebellious devotion. Perfectly portrayed by Stellan Skarsgård, the character had a catalogue of memorable moments in Season 1, one too many to mention in fact. Yet it's the unforgettable monologue from Season 1 that leads us perfectly into our first major prediction for Season 2.
I burn my decency for someone else's future. I burn my life to make a sunrise that I know I'll never see.
Heading into the second season, and the main question everyone wants the answer to is, will Luthen survive? The question is fueled by the fact we know he doesn't appear in the show's sequel story, Rogue One. The key to this answer may actually lie within the destiny of another character. Now, it's been confirmed that everyone's favourite villain from Rogue One, Director Krennic, will be appearing in the second season. This isn't a surprise, as the character has very little backstory other than the flashback scene in Rogue One. With so much unexplored backstory and a Death Star to assemble, Krennic will likely be a major player in the second season. Given his credentials and position within the Empire, my first prediction is that Krennic has been leading an undercover investigation into the whereabouts of Luthen Rael, codename Axis, all along. In Season 1, we got to witness Dedra Meero make a name for herself within the ISB. Her forthright approach and intuition led her very close to Axis, only to be halted in dramatic fashion during the events that unfolded on Rick's Road. Now, whilst her story was playing out, I predict that Krennic, working simultaneously in the shadows, is using her intel, scattering spies across the galaxy and getting close, if not closer, to Axis than Dedra Meero ever did.
There's always a bigger fish.
Who remembers this guy? Well, my prediction is he is likely a spy working for Krennic. During this scene from Season 1, the character asks some very interesting questions of Luthen.
What's your line? Rather not say. No need to explain. Who knows who you're talking to these days?
We also linger on him for a little too long in this shot, for him just to be a casual, one-off character. I predict he's a spy, working for Krennic and closing in on Axis. And having brushed shoulders with Luthen Rael, Krennic's off-screen investigation has seemingly gotten closer to Axis with less chess pieces moved when compared to Dedra's investigation. So how does this all end for Krennic, Dedra and Luthen? Starting with Luthen, it's clear to me his monologue foreshadows his outcome.
I share my dreams with ghosts. I wake up every day to an equation I wrote 15 years ago from which there's only one conclusion. I'm damned for what I do.
In short, it's easy to assume Luthen is talking about the citizens of the galaxy under the rule of the Emperor. For me, however, I think this foreshadows Luthen sacrificing himself to aid in Mon's eventual escape. Mon is the future Luthen touches upon in his Season 1 monologue. Luthen was established as the middleman during Season 1, and we know Mon Mothma is the leader of the rebellion. So with this in mind, I predict Luthen will make the ultimate sacrifice, as touched upon in his monologue, aiding in Mon Mothma in escaping her in a major showdown with the Empire. This results in Luthen's capture torture, and demise at the hands of the Empire. Other factors that lend to this prediction include his absence in Rogue One, his devotion to the cause, and his character mirroring those who we see in other stories and shows that tend to make a fool for a greater purpose. Unlike other shows, however, Luthen is content at this outcome, having achieved his selfless function in the rise of the rebellion. Turning our attention to another brilliant character from Season 1, and Dedra's relationship with the obsessive and unstable Syril Khan could well be leading to an incredible outcome. With Krennic capturing and killing Luthen having been undermined, I predict Dedra will use her powers of persuasion over Syril to try and assassinate Krennic. Syril had this strange attachment to Dedra, as if their common goal aroused him, meaning he'd do anything for Dedra, as long as he could be within arm's reach of her determination, and bring justice to the fallen security guards killed by Andor in Season 1. So with Syril following in the footsteps of Dedra, I can see Dedra manipulating Syril to take revenge on Krennic and reinstate her as the ISB's Employee of the Year. Syril will follow the plan, based on a promise made by Dedra to take him along with her, as long as she rises once again through the ranks of the Empire. Sadly for Dedra, however, in Rogue One, it's Krennic that meets with Darth Vader on Mustafar, and not her. As for Syril, well, the weak typically fall first, and not very gracefully, shall we add. In the eyes of a certain character, Dedra and Syril commit treason, and this ushers in our first, yet unconfirmed, major appearance in Season 2. Did you ever hear the tragedy of Syril and Dedra? Yep, you guessed it, I predict Palpatine will make an appearance in Season 2. In addition to having been informed of Krennic's success in hunting down Axis, Palpatine would also be informed of Syril's and Dedra's attempt at revenge on Krennic, ultimately leading to their demise in Season 2. Or they are both demoted to the detention level on the Death Star, which is worse for the career climbing duo, death or detention level duty. Leave your thoughts on this in the comments. In Season 1, fans including myself went wild with our theories, especially surrounding the idea of certain characters appearing in the show. The show went in a totally unexpected direction. Season 2, however, is different. The story will reach far and wide, with the ever-looming presence of the Emperor growing, making Season 2 the perfect place for Palpatine to make a short, yet sweet appearance. Given how carefully the appearance of Vader was handled in Rogue One, I expect just the same for Palpatine in Season 2. So with Krennic leading the charge to crush the rebellion, Syril and Dedra out of the picture, and Palpatine making a short but sweet appearance, another huge prediction of mine surrounds that of Bail Organa. Towards the end of Season 2, with the Empire closing in, Mon Mothma will be looking for a quick Coruscant exit. Having made the ultimate sacrifice in Season 1, Mon will need the assistance of an Organa to escape the clutches of the Empire and join the unified factions of the rebellion out in the galaxy. In Rogue One, Mon and Bail discuss recruiting Kenobi to the cause. So the two have an established relationship in Rogue One. Leaving this untouched in Andor Season 2 would leave this stone unturned. I predict we will witness Bail Organa saving Mon Mothma from the clutches of Krennic and the Empire. Unlike Luthen, Mon escapes with her life intact and takes up the role of leader of the rebellion. Moving away from the Empire and those I predict will fall in their wake, towards the end of Season 1, Cassian aided his friends in escaping Ferrix, but not all of those friends escape. Back on Narkina 5, Kino Loy made the ultimate sacrifice. Knowing full well he couldn't swim, he still led the revolution on Narkina 5, saving the lives of hundreds of people. Could he be of much assistance to the rebellion? Perhaps not, but Cassian isn't one for leaving friends behind. So I predict at the very start of Season 2, Andor will head back to Narkina 5 to try and rescue Kino Loy. Sadly, having aided in the escape of hundreds of prisoners, most importantly, Andor, Kino will have felt the full force of the Empire, eventually passing away due to the torturous methods used by the ISB. Upon trying to rescue Kino Loy, Andor discovers Kino was killed. This only fuels Cassian's inner fire and sets up the rest of Season 2 perfectly. As we reach the climatic ending of Andor, my final prediction surrounds the timeline of the story, our central character, and another brick made of ashes added to the walls of Ferrix. During the events of Season 1, Marva's ashes were turned to stone in a ceremony designed to commemorate the lives of former Ferric citizens who have passed on. By the time we reach the climax of Season 2, I can see Bix and Brasso adding Cassian's brick next to his mother's repurposed stone, and the story actually wrapping up after the events of Rogue One. The second season of Andor is set to once again raise the bar. With Tony Gilroy at the helm, my predictions covered in this video could be a million miles off the mark. But one thing is for sure, this TV series will cement itself as not simply just another brick in the wall. With so many characters, tie-ins to Rogue One and a rebellion to build and unify, be sure to leave your predictions for Season 2 in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more lore, news and breakdowns. And as always, one way out.